Okay, so today we're taking a deep dive, and it's something we're all working on, right?
Well,
I mean, who doesn't want to be better at self-care?
absolutely.
But get this, we're going way beyond those typical self-care things,
Oh, yeah.
like, those face masks and bubble baths.
Right.
We're going deeper.
Just like it.
We got some really cool stuff to look at today.
Yeah.
We've got excerpts from this piece called The Most Underrated Forms of Self-Care.
Okay.
And we've got this image, too. It's got a ton of different self-care practices on it.
Interesting.
Some are, the usual stuff you'd expect.
Yeah.
But some are, honestly, kind of surprising. I think it's going to make us rethink what self-care really means. I'm excited to get into it.
I am too.
So, before we jump in, everyone listening, think about your self-care routine for a second. What comes to mind? Got that image.
Okay.
All right, now hold on to that while we unpack all of this.
What I find really interesting about these sources is that they highlight both those, expected self-care things
Yeah.
and then the stuff that kind of comes out of left field.
Oh, totally.
Like you see the classics, right? Getting enough sleep, hanging out with people you actually like, spending some time alone.
Yeah, true.
Those are the self-care basics. But I think it's worth asking, why are these so important?
I'll be honest, sometimes I'm like, ugh, really? 8 hours of sleep? I mean, who actually has time for that?
Right. It can feel impossible.
But I guess there's got to be a reason everyone keeps saying it.
There is. It's not just some random advice.
Right.
There's a ton of research backing this up.
Oh, for sure.
There was this study, and it found that just one night of bad sleep can totally mess with your focus.
Wow, seriously.
It can even affect your decision-making, big time.
It's more than just feeling tired.
Exactly. It's messing with how your brain actually works on a basic level.
I guess you can't argue with science.
Nope. And then there's that whole social connection thing, spending time with people.
Yeah.
It's not just about feeling good, right?
Right.
It actually protects you from stress.
Oh, interesting.
There's research showing that people who have a good support system, like friends and family, they bounce back from tough stuff way better.
So strong friendships are basically like a superpower.
Pretty much.
Nice.
But, okay, where things really get interesting
Yeah.
is when we look at some of those less obvious self-care practices.
The ones that kind of made me tilt my head sideways.
Exactly. One of them is give yourself extra time to get places.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
And then there's mind your own business.
Wait, minding your own business is self-care.
Right. It sounds kind of counterintuitive.
It does. Shouldn't we be engaged?
Yeah.
Care about what's happening around us?
We should. But it's about being smart about where you put your energy,
Heck.
Imagine this. Every time you get pulled into someone else's drama, or you say yes to too many things.
Oh, I do that all the time.
It's like you're draining your own battery.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So minding your own business is basically about setting boundaries.
Okay.
It's about figuring out what's actually your responsibility and what you can just let go of.
So how do you actually do that, though?
That's the question.
Do you just walk away from everything and everyone?
No, not exactly. One thing that can help is to get better at saying no.
Oh, I hate saying no.
It's hard. But not like a mean no, more like a gentle but firm no.
Right.
A no that shows you respect yourself and your time.
Okay, I can try that.
Another thing, just try to observe before you jump in. When someone starts unloading all their problems on you, take a breath before you start giving advice or trying to fix everything.
Just listen.
Sometimes that's all they need, really.
I guess so. And it saves you a lot of stress, too.
Exactly. Sometimes listening without getting all tangled up in it is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
For them and for you.
So it's like choosing your battles carefully.
Perfectly said.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, another one from this list that really caught my eye.
Which one?
Treating people based on their patterns, not their words.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't know, it sounds kind of cynical.
It's not about being cynical, though. It's about being a good detective.
Detective.
Yeah. We've all met people who say all the right things.
Oh, for sure.
But then their actions tell a completely different story.
Wow.
This self-care practice is basically saying, pay attention to what people do.
More than what they say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because actions speak louder, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to protect your own peace of mind.
So if someone keeps promising they'll change, but they never actually do, that's a sign to maybe step back.
It could be. Look, it's not about judging someone, saying they're a good or bad person.
Right.
It's about seeing the patterns and making choices that keep you healthy. mentally and emotionally.
So sometimes self-care means walking away from a relationship,
Yeah.
even if the other person is saying all the right things.
Sometimes that's the healthiest choice you can make.
There's something else on this list that's really interesting to me. Drink enough water. It seems kind of basic, right?
It does seem basic.
Like, shouldn't that just be a given?
You'd think so.
Especially next to all this other stuff about, setting boundaries and recognizing patterns and all that.
Right. Like, it's on a whole other level.
But I guess it's on there for a reason.
It is. And I think it shows how connected our minds and bodies really are.
Okay, I'm listening.
Even being a little dehydrated
Uh-huh.
can make you super tired, make you feel foggy, and even make you more irritable.
Really?
Yeah. And when you're feeling all that, it's harder to deal with stress.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's harder to make good choices. It's like trying to run a car without enough gas.
You're going to stall out. I
Exactly.
never really thought about it that way.
It's easy to overlook the simple stuff.
Yeah. So basically, drinking enough water is like the first step
It lays the groundwork for everything else.
to being able to do all the other self-care things.
Exactly. Now, there's one more thing from this list that I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
Something that really speaks to me personally. And it's taking a moment, just a moment, to appreciate where you are right now.
Oh, that mindfulness thing, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a fancy way of saying stop and smell the roses?
In a way, yeah. But there's more to it than that.
Okay.
There's actually a lot of research now that shows that practicing mindfulness, even just a few minutes a day, can help with stress, help you focus better, even boost your overall mood.
So how do you even do that? Do I have to go sit on a mountaintop and meditate for hours?
Yeah. No, not necessarily.
Okay, good.
It can be super simple. Just take a few deep breaths and really pay attention to how that feels in your body.
Okay.
Or like when you're out walking, really notice the colors and textures around you.
I can try that.
The key is to just bring your attention to the present moment without judging it, without overthinking it.
So even when things are crazy, you can still find a moment of peace.
Exactly. There's so much more we could talk about from this list.
I know, right?
It's amazing.
Like keeping a journal to get your feelings out, celebrating even your small wins, getting some sunshine.
Yes, to all of that.
It really changes how you think about self-care.
It's not just about treating yourself. It's about making choices that help you feel good inside and out.
Exactly. So as you go about your day, I want you to think about this. If you could add one underrated self-care practice to this list, what would it be and why?
That's a really good question. It makes you think about what you really need.
And what might be missing from your own routine?
That's something for everyone to ponder, for sure.
It is.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep taking care of yourselves.
Couldn't have said it better myself.